The day begins in the heart of Jammu. With the engine humming beneath me, I set off on my motorcycle toward one of the city's oldest and most fascinating neighborhoods, Jain Bazaar. Unlike the wide roads and modern markets that define much of today's city, Jain Bazaar preserves the character of an older Jammu. Its narrow lanes, closely packed buildings, and centuries of history offer a glimpse into a world that still survives alongside the modern city. Before beginning my walk through the bazaar, I stop for breakfast at a traditional Rawalpindi eatery. Places like these are more than just food shops. They are living reminders of the cultural connections and migrations that have shaped Jammu over generations. A simple breakfast here feels like a small journey into the past. With breakfast finished, I enter the maze of streets that make Jain Bazaar so unique. Almost immediately, the atmosphere changes. The lanes become narrower. The sounds of traffic fade away, and the buildings rise closely on either side. The sunlight struggles to reach the ground, blocked by the tall structures and overhanging balconies above. Even on a warm day, the streets remain noticeably cooler, creating a natural refuge from the heat outside. As I continue walking, I come across a remarkable sight, an old mansion that once belonged to a wealthy Jain merchant. Today, it stands abandoned. Its walls are weathered, parts of the structure have deteriorated, and nature is slowly reclaiming what was once a symbol of prosperity. Yet, even in its ruined state, the house speaks of another era. One can imagine the merchants who once lived here, the business transactions that took place within these walls, and the generations of families who called this place home. Leaving the bustling lanes around Mubarak Mandi, I continued my journey toward Katika Talab, another historic quarter of old Jammu. The name Katika Talab comes from two words, Talab meaning pond and Katik, referring to a community of leather workers and tanners who once lived around the large pond that existed here before 1947. The pond was an important source of water and served as a gathering place for the surrounding neighborhoods. Like many parts of old Jammu, Katika Talab developed organically over centuries, with narrow lanes, traditional Dogra houses, and small shrines reflecting the city's historic urban character. As I wandered through the historic lanes of Katika Talab, I came across several traditional bakeries and food shops that have long been part of Jammu's culinary culture. The aroma of freshly baked bread, biscuits, and local snacks filled the air, adding another layer of charm to the neighborhood. The summer heat was intense, and after exploring the area for some time, I stopped at a cart selling cold buttermilk. It was a simple moment, but one that allowed me to pause and take in the atmosphere around me. Sitting there, watching people go about their daily lives, it was easy to imagine how generations before had gathered in these same streets, making Katika Talab not just a historic place, but a living part of Jammu's heritage. As I make my way deeper into the narrow lanes of Jain Bazaar, I come across a large brick wall rising between the tightly packed buildings. From its upper edges, thick roots hang down into the narrow street, creating a striking contrast between nature and the aging urban landscape. The sight feels almost surreal. The roots have slowly claimed the wall over decades, weaving themselves into the old masonry and silently reshaping it. In a place where every corner seems to hold a fragment of history, this unexpected scene stands out as a reminder of how time leaves its mark, not only through people and architecture, but through nature as well. My next stop was Ram Talai Temple, one of Jammu's lesser-known yet historically significant shrines. Located on Circular Road near the old Pantirthi area, the temple is dedicated to Lord Radha and Krishna and is known for its serene pond or talai, from which it derives its name. As I walked beside Ram Talai, my attention was drawn to an old building standing quietly amidst nature. Time had left its mark on the structure. Its weathered walls, faded facade, and aging windows spoke of decades gone by. Creepers and wild vegetation had begun reclaiming parts of the building, softening its rough edges and blending it into the surrounding landscape. Trees cast their shadows across the abandoned structure, creating a scene that felt both peaceful and mysterious. Curious to discover what lay inside, I stepped closer. Despite its neglected condition, the building still possessed a certain charm, hinting at a more prosperous past. It seemed like a forgotten relic, waiting to tell its story.
ठीक है आधे एक घंटे में
As I stepped inside, it felt as if I had entered another era. The rooms were enormous, far larger than anything we see in modern homes today. Every space seemed designed to impress, with wide doorways, thick walls, and ceilings that stretched high above my head. The silence inside was almost unreal, broken only by the sound of my own footsteps echoing through the empty halls. The floors were beautiful, still holding traces of their former elegance despite years of neglect. Sunlight streamed through broken windows, creating patterns of light and shadow that danced across the rooms. One of the most fascinating features was the old fireplaces. Standing there, it was easy to imagine winter evenings when these rooms would have been filled with warmth, conversation, and the lives of the people who once called this place home. A grand staircase led to the upper floor. Each step felt like a journey deeper into the building's forgotten past. As I climbed higher, the atmosphere became even more mysterious. The high ceilings, long corridors, and empty rooms created a sense of awe that photographs can hardly capture. And then came the view from the top. Looking out from the upper floor, I could see the surrounding landscape stretching into the distance. Nature had slowly begun reclaiming the property, wrapping this forgotten structure in greenery and giving it a strangely beautiful character. Now, I have to admit, a place like this does make your imagination run wild. With the empty corridors, creaking floors, and abandoned rooms, I half expected a ghost to appear around the corner. Thankfully, the only thing haunting the building was probably decades of unpaid maintenance bills. But jokes aside, standing there was a remarkable experience. This wasn't just an abandoned house, it was a silent witness to another time, carrying stories, memories, and mysteries that have survived long after its residents have gone.